Welcome to Coffee Breaks Thursdays with Jason Zalakis. I, of course, am your host, Jason Zalakis. Coffee time. All right. Let's get it started in here. How are we all doing today? We have a beautiful day here, live from Los Angeles, and still getting adjusted in the chair. Always doing these last-minute tweaks. One day I'm going to have a studio, and I'll be able to just sit in. I'll just be able to walk in. It'll all be set up and the whole thing. But for now, we tape live here in LA from my house, and the reason I'm looking outside is because I'm looking at how beautiful it is outside, and it's certainly a great day here, and I hope everybody is having a great day all around the country and across the pond. I don't know that we get as many viewers as we used to from the foreign countries. When Facebook made us switch platforms, essentially, when they made us stop doing it on my personal page and start doing it on the Coffee Breaks Thursdays with Jason Zalakis page, we ended up sort of, losing some viewership and those kind of things. But, we're doing what we do, and we got it here for you every Thursday. If you want to see any of the previous episodes that we've recorded, be sure to check it out, Coffee Breaks Thursdays with Jason Zalakis. There's a whole Facebook page, and there's, I don't know, 30-something episodes. I think today may be our 30th or 31st episode, so I'm not even really sure. And but we have a great show for you today. Our guest today, of course, is Beau Thompson all the way from Texas, and we're going to see how that goes. I tend to give Texas a hard time on this show, and but we're not gonna pick fun at Texas today, probably. One of the things I love about our guest today is people who work with him. They love to work with him. Nobody ever says anything bad about Beau Thompson that I could find. Not that I was looking, but let's talk a little bit before we bring our guest on. How we do. I tell you a little bit about how my week went during as an actor, and so that you can get a feel for it. And the truth is I questioned whether or not really to talk about it this week. And the reason why I questioned whether or not really if I wanted to talk about it my week is because the truth is this week I'm not really feeling it. I kind of feel like, and I thought about maybe I shouldn't come on the show and tell you that, because week after week I come on the show and whatever. But this week, man, I just, and I thought to myself, that would be doing a disservice. That would be doing you guys a disservice, because the truth is this show is about the realities of acting. And the reality of acting is there's sometimes, at least in my personal life, and I haven't spoken to an actor yet that hasn't had this, but, those moments of doubt. And I had some this week, and I'm not saying I'm quitting or I'm not saying any of that ridiculous kind of stuff. What I'm saying is that I was like, man, and I'm coming up on my 1-year anniversary here in LA. I've only even been here a year. So, and I'm going, and I even joke about it. I've been here a year and I haven't, I was willing to give it a year and now I'm done. And, of course that's not true when you hear, I think we all know it takes 5 to 10 years really even to, what I heard was, and I've really sort of gravitated towards it. And it really keeps me as an actor sort of humbled. And I heard you can do all the training, you can do all the acting classes, you can do everything necessary. You can build your profile, you can have you can even work guest spots, and you can do all these things. And then you'll be a light bulb in the Disney Main Street Electrical Parade. So after you do all of that, even, you're just a light bulb in the parade. And that to me, stuck with me as an actor. Like, man, it's just you're just a light bulb, in the scheme of all these things. And so, I was like, so to me, that just keeps me humble. But, for me, that part of the reasons why I just wasn't feeling it this week was because I had a couple auditions, and again, I think it all stems from that. I don't personally feel like my booking levels are where they're supposed to be, but I got an audition that was for the Wynn Casino, man, because I'm a commercial guy. I do a lot of commercials, and I get fairly large commercial. I'm reading the comments as we talk, and I shouldn't do that. Thank you, Harry James. Thank you so much. Anyway, what I was saying was one of the auditions for the Wynn Casino, and I really want to do a casino. I gotta admit, the reason why I want to do a casino is because I feel like my parents would be really proud of me. I do all these ads, but and my mom, I got a commercial. I'm gonna drop a couple of commercials on you this week, maybe next week, but I'm gonna put some new commercials out. So look at my feed, Jason Zalakis. You'll get to see my new work. But I was like, you know what? If I did this food commercial, my mom was like, that doesn't look good at all, Jason. Like, they're very critical. My parents are very critical. So I felt like if I did a casino ad, my parents would really dig it. And I thought, oh man, the Wynn Casino is pretty dang big. And you know what? They dropped that on me. They give it to me at 5 o'clock at night. And they go, this thing is due at 9 a.m. And I'm like, dude, okay, no big deal, right? But it's like it's a good paragraph of stuff. And so I'm like, all right. And so I start doing it. Man, I was up, I don't know, 12:30, 1 o'clock doing that. And so I didn't land. Of course, I didn't land it. But I was like, man, I don't know. I was having a good time with it. I was like, this is what I really want. I was really excited. So to not land that is a bit of a bummer. Anyway, then I get one that was just straight up. It's a print ad. I've never had this audition request before. Only a slate. And I mean, they didn't say, tell us a bit about yourself. Tell us a joke. None of that. Just slate. And I didn't land it. And I'm going, dude, if I can't land it from just going, hi, I'm Jason Zalakis, I don't know what I'm going to do. So anyway, that is the story of my week. But here I am with you this week. And I'm smiling and I'm excited because you know why? No matter what, man, I live at the beach. I live in LA. The sun is shining. I'm doing what I love for a living. I can't beat it. Life is good. I'm about to interview Beau Thompson. Like, you know what I'm saying? Things are great. Things are great. I think there's always something to be happy about, and that's where I'm riding it today. So moving along with that, Friday 13th is tomorrow. And as you know, I'm a huge Friday 13th fan. We are going to see, man, because this is something you can do if you live here. We are going to see it at Castaic Lake. We're going to a lake, and they're gonna show Friday 13th on the lake, and how cool is that? I mean, I'm so excited about going to see Friday 13th on the lake that I can't even handle it. And you know what sucks about it? That damn shit was expensive. It was expensive. And if you wanted to be on a boat, if you wanted to be on the lake, like on a boat, it was like $200 a ticket for a movie that came out in 1980. Unreal. But you know what? And the good news is that my son has never seen it. All the rest of the family has seen it, but my son has never seen the first one. He's seen all the rest, but he didn't see the first one. And so he has no idea. So we're going to find out what he thinks. And, I'll let you know next week how it goes. Let's move on. Handsome history before we get to our guest, Beau Thompson. Our guest is from Texas. I think I mentioned that. The good part is today, Handsome history, we're going to start in Texas. As you may have heard this week, a lady found at the Goodwill for $34.99, she bought a bust of a Roman statue. Now, the lady isn't just some lady. She was at the Goodwill. She's looking for antiquities. She kind of knows antiques. She didn't know that she had purchased a bust that was missing from Germany that they had like 80 years ago, and it went missing during the Allied invasion of Germany. And the bust, nobody knew where it went. It used to be displayed in this Pompagenaeum, I think is what they called it. I'm sure I'm saying it wrong. I'm sure it's this great German word like Pompagenaeum or something. But anyway, I don't do accents. Don't ask me to do it on film. I'm terrible at that. But anyway, she found this bust. It turned out to be really rare. Funny thing that killed me was the lady said, it sucked. It was bittersweet. I think the word she used was bittersweet. It's bittersweet because I couldn't keep it and I couldn't sell it. What an American response to finding a missing piece of art. You know what? I couldn't make a profit on it. So that was sucked. But I found, for Handsome History, examples of when people did find stuff they could make a profit on. Here we go. I worked at Goodwill for 6 months. I was the manager of a store in Vacaville, running the whole store because retail is what I do, sales is what I do. So I was running the whole store. But why I was really there was because I'm a toy collector. I'm a giant toy geek, and I was trying to get toys. But then they instituted this policy where you couldn't buy stuff that came in. Employees of the Goodwill could not purchase things that had come in, and that was just like, you know what? At that point, there was no perks to the job. So anyway, one of the things that was found, and we're going to wrap this up because I want to get to my guest, Beau Thompson. Hang in there. We're getting right to him. And like I told you, this dude, he's exciting. He's a likable guy. We're going to get right to it. But a lady in Philadelphia bought a necklace at a flea market. And I saw this necklace. I don't know. It just looks like a cool necklace. But she was wearing it around town, and wherever she would wear it, people would go, wow, that's a really great necklace. She wore it to the Alexander Calder exhibit, which was at the Philadelphia Museum. And somebody there straight recognized that necklace as an Alexander Calder piece. And they went, oh my God, this is like an amazing thing from this amazing sculptor. You're wearing it. She bought it at the flea market. That lady sold that necklace for $267,000. One of the other most amazing finds. And I was just like stunned that what are the chances? She bought this necklace, she wears it to this art exhibit, and they're like, yo, that happens to be by the sculptor. That's pretty amazing. I mean, the chances of that are pretty amazing. That's, you know, but here's what I thought was even more impressive before we get to our guest. A guy, I don't know where the guy was, but I'm assuming he's somewhere here in Los Angeles. He goes into, I think it was at a garage sale. The watch from James Bond's Thunderball is a super specific watch. It was designed for the movie, and after the filming, it went missing. Guy bought it at a garage sale as a cool watch. It turned out it was the missing James Bond Thunderball watch from filming. $163,000. I was stunned by that. And that's Handsome History this week. Let's get to our guest, Beau Thompson. Coffee Breaks Thursdays with Jason Zalakis. Don't have a band list. What is that? I accidentally hit the band list. We have a band list? Like a band? Like AC/DC and stuff? That'd be cool. All right, bring it on, Beau Thompson. Shout out to producer Warren Madden, who schedules my guests week after week. What happened with Beau Thompson? There it is. There we go. Warren Madden, super producer. Want to thank you for making the show happen. Coffee Breaks Thursdays with Jason Zalakis. And someday, Warren Madden. There he is. Beau Thompson, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that. It's like I told Warren, I'm a technology Neanderthal. I know how to punch buttons, and that's it.
One of the things we're getting is really loud sound. Do you have a way to maybe turn it down a tiny bit? It sounds very...
We'll try. I'll try lowering my voice. I drive sound men crazy.
I bet. So one of the questions I wanted to ask you, and you know, again, I don't really have any fancy segues other than you're from Texas. Tell us about, did you have a career prior to being an actor?
Oh, yeah, and I'm actually originally from Australia. I married a Texas Mexican, and they never leave Texas. Nobody told me that. My father is an Irish immigrant to Texas. My mother's Australian. I've lived in 8 different countries. So, I've been here. My previous career was when I found out that she would not leave the country, I took on the role as an AP social studies teacher. I actually studied to be a research historian. So I have a total of 6 degrees, and here I am being an actor, writer. So go figure. So I'm an educated idiot.
That's amazing. So, okay, because you're somewhat, honestly, like usually when I get, you know, people's IMDb's are like loaded with stuff, your IMDb said actor, writer. So you're somewhat of an enigma to me, even on your Facebook. Like, I don't know a whole lot about you, and I usually have stalked the guest really well. So you thought Australia and Texas they're pretty similar, right? They're both like outback and dangerous. That's my understanding.
Well, what it is it's kind of a misnomer in a lot of ways. Is that people confuse Texas politics with the Texas people. You know,
sure.
And what I mean by that is most of the people in Texas are just hardworking, middle of the road, You know, you got your extremists like you do anywhere else. And Australia's that way too. My family is from a little place called Middle Parinka, New South Wales. And they really don't give a crap what happens in the city. You know,
Right.
they're not politically driven. It's like, okay, let's see, we raised enough food to eat today. Good, it's a good day. So I grew up very, very poor, and I lost my mom when I was young. So wherever my father went into port, I went to join him. And then when he went out to sea, I went and stayed with my grandmother, who is, I mean, literally your textbook little Irish lady who had a temper and took no gruff from a big old boy.
So okay, so you somehow you avoided the sea as a calling. You decided not to go the sailor route. And
actually, I was a horrible child, and at one point in time, through some horrible decisions, I was given a choice of institutions. One was an institution full of bank robbers, murderers, and so forth, and the other was to serve the military. And so I did that. I was attached to the United Nations, and so I did my time. And so then I got out of that. I was laying in a hospital where I had taken a shot in the vest and had 6 broken ribs, and that's when somebody came in and said, "Would you like to re-enlist?" And I said, the polite version is, I said, "No, thank you."
Right. So you said you were a horrible child. Shout out to my mom, who also knows what it's like to raise a horrible child. My sister. But I'm kidding. It's me, obviously. And shout out for avoiding jail. Again, we have that in common. Thank God. So, okay. So you end up in Texas and you're working as an AP social studies teacher. And how, and you know what? I give Texas a hard time, but I want to make it clear. I give anywhere that's not California a hard time. So if it's not California, it's on the list of places to make fun of.
Sure.
And California is too. But anyway, I just want to make that clear. Like you said, shout out to hardworking people. You know, when I think about hardworking people in crazy states, again, I think of Warren Madden over there in Florida. So, producer. But so you're in Texas and you're an AP social studies teacher. How do you become an actor? Where's the jump? Where's the decision to go, I don't like making money, I want to be an actor?
Well, I'm used to not having money as a teacher. I was actually a teacher.
Right.
I was a teacher and athletic director. And I was working 110 hours a week. And because coaching is serious business in Texas. How serious? Short version, I went into 2 schools. One was 0-54, one was 0-37. And our group, all of our coaches, we turned around, went to the playoffs. We didn't make it that next year, and so they got rid of all of us. Getting rid of us is assigning us, 6th grade, whatever. But I did that multiple times. So in 30 years, half my career was in the playoffs. But I got tired of the politics. I'm just sorry. I'm one of those guys that if the kids aren't first, then you can kiss my butt. I will throw my keys down if it's not the kids first. How serious am I about that? Was we had a young athlete, amazing football player. And on a Monday, he told me, "Coach, I'm not doing it, and you got to have me." And I didn't say a word. I said, "Okay." Come game night, I'm the defensive coordinator. I said, "You're not playing." And the head coach said, "Well, we have to have him." I said, "Well, you can have my keys, or he doesn't play." Long story short is we wound up winning the game with about 7 or 8 seconds left in the game. But I never had to tell that young man or anybody else on that team anything twice. And everybody knew that I would put my keys down, because even to this day, as a young adult, well, an older adult, he still remembers that. So I don't just say those things. I live by that. Anyway, I got tired of the politics, and I started coming home every day at 4:30. And after about 3 months, my wife said, "Get out of the house." And I used to write. When we first got married, I was a writer. I was a punk writer. You know, the guy go get the coffee for the real writers. And through connections with that, somebody asked for a bad guy. I said, "Sure, I'll go be your bad guy." And I did a couple of plays, and it was fun. And it was just a ha-ha. So I did a film with Gabriel Duran, and he was the director, called Translations. And next thing I know, it got recognition. Then all of a sudden I have an agent. Now I have two agents. Now I'm doing it full time. Now I have, I don't know, somewhere around 30 IMDb credits, and I just finished two back-to-back feature films. I'm fixing to go to Virginia, and I'm going to direct my first film. And so,
so you're saying it just sort of happened. You just kind of fell into it.
I did it for chuckles and grins and fun, and I have a passion for storytelling. That's how I taught history, is try to bring the history alive to my students. I tell them, take your book, put it where you can find it at the end of the year, because I used real documents. If we were studying civil rights, they had to go interview somebody who marched in the civil rights. If we talked about Vietnam, they had to go interview somebody from the Vietnam era.
Right.
You know, we didn't do the hearsay.
Right. I love that idea. So how does that translate then? You talked about leaving the politics of football or coaching. What about the politics of acting? I mean,
you know what? I don't worry about it. You know, you're talking about auditions. There's so many things that can go wrong. You don't know why they don't like you or don't. I don't worry about it. I do it. You're too old, you're too fat, you're too this, you're too that. I just do it. You know, I have a motto, just from being a coach. I have a motto for my acting, and that is to be the hardest working character actor with the widest range, and that's how I approach everything I do. You know, I'm usually a bad guy, but I play my bad guys like they're the hero, because they don't think they're the bad guy. Right. You know, and if you hire me for a project, I'm going to play it to the hilt, and I'm going to give you everything I got. And that's my work ethic. I'm of the philosophy, you can fix early, but you can't fix late. And that you will get everything I have to make your project the best project it can be. And that's just my work ethic.
You mentioned that, I read something that you wrote about, you know, but you said that thoughts about, I'm not on set because I must be a crappy actor. You know, I didn't get hired for that job because I must be a crappy actor. And you said, it's not really about having a thick skin. It's more of like being a strainer. What do you mean by that?
Well, here's the thing. We always self-judge, you know, and we beat ourselves up. We constantly do that. And when I was going through a phase, and we all do it, is that that's what we want to say, you know, but you can't, how can I put this? We shouldn't be doing it based on whether or not we think we're a good actor, bad actor. We better be doing it because we love it. We better be doing it because it is a passion. When you wake up in the morning, you better be doing it not because you hope for fame and fortune. You better be doing it because you love bringing a story to life. When you sit down to write, you're creating a world, not going, oh, this is going to make me famous. You know, this audition this is going to be the audition that makes me discovered. You know, and so it's that motivation. You know.
Right. So do you? But how do you shrug off those moments? Or do you have them? I mean, I'm assuming you do. Where
Sure.
where you're not feeling it, or where how do you personally shrug those off?
You know, I pout for a little bit, like anybody else. No, honestly, I go do something else that I enjoy. You know, uh, it may be, I don't know, play a video game, or I go write. Uh, Writing is very cathartic for me because I'm creating that my own world. Uh, and I've been known to write 30 pages and then delete it just to get it out of my system. Uh, you take what you feel bad about and you use it. It's energy. Good or bad, it's still energy. And there's just some good physics there. Now, what do you decide to do with it? Okay, I feel like crap. God, what kind of daggum audition was it? That was crap. Hey, you know what? This character feels like crap. Why don't I give them that dialogue?
Right.
The best compliment I ever got about one of my scripts is that they said the dialogue felt real. Well, there was a reason for it.
How many projects have you written? Would you say? I mean, or how many projects that you wrote got turned into a film? Maybe that's
probably somewhere between 7 and 10. We've got right now 2 short films that are fixing to go, and I've got 2 scripts that are under review right now.
So so do you act in your pictures that you write too, or do you not?
I do not like to. I don't like to do that. I don't write for myself.
Right. I often wonder about that. Because people say, you should write a story that you're in, or you should write. And, I often don't know where to place myself. Because like you, I play a lot of bad guys. And so I don't necessarily want to write myself as the bad guy, but so.
It feels awkward.
Right. I see a lot of directors write themselves apart with the pretty girl or whatever, and I don't feel right about that either. I mean, so are you involved in the casting at all for your picture, like or do you hand it off? How do you personally handle it?
Well, in my directing debut, I have a writing partner. We're started a production company called Fearless Arvo, and Becca Spencer's my partner, and if you met her, she's like the yoga master, center of the universe, and I'm Mr. Skeptic, and we're totally opposite. I mean, we tend to write very dark scripts, and not horror thriller, but the side of human nature that people don't like to do. And she wrote this one about a female pedophile drug dealer who is extorting a junkie to give to the daughter. And she said the only person she would have directed is me because I'm not afraid to deal with the darkness. So that's going to be my directing debut. And then the second film I wrote it, and I feel weird directing it. But again, extortion is the word that comes to mind. Directed, and it's about, it's a scene from a feature that I wrote about a man who's had a stroke and he's cognizant, but his body isn't functioning. The shakes and the weakness, and he wants to commit suicide, but he physically can't. And so it's about the wife kind of helping him, and the movie's about the daughter and the wife reconciling what she's done. And
wow.
Because stroke, doing the research, people that are cognizant and their stroke, see, people won't look them in the eye. They act like they're not in the room, but they're aware, And so our scripts, these 2 particular scripts, focus on what people won't look at, but they're there. They're there every day. There are people in our society dealing with them. And so we're going to go, look, we're going to take a look.
Right. How important do you think that is, giving people who don't have a voice in through film? How important do you think that is?
I think it's our responsibility as filmmakers. Too many times we take the easy route, and particularly in in the short film world, is that, let's be honest, short film's not going to make money anyway. So why not get a message out? Why not take the opportunity to give a voice to people who normally wouldn't have a voice?
Right.
Because you're going to be judged on your production value, how they acted, your cinematography, and all those things, and also to give people a leg up. If we don't help each other, the gatekeepers have changed in this industry. It used to be the guy with the big cigar, and you went through the three networks, or you went through the grand studios. But now with the streaming and so many ways, who's to say that, Jason, 3 years from now, you don't have a $250,000 budget or $1 million budget? You need an old fat guy. I mean, we don't know who's going to need who. And it's foolish for us not to help each other. It's changed the market. It changed who we need to help. It's changed the group dynamics drastically.
Right. It's really so you're saying I guess the ability to connect with other filmmakers and tell these stories through the streaming services and through getting short films out to the public, that has really been your platform. Is that what you're saying?
Well, yeah. Well, everybody's platform. I mean, look at this. Your talk show is growing exponentially. It probably wouldn't have, to this degree, pro-COVID. It's an opportunity now for people to see who you are, not just on the acting side, but who you are as an individual. And it's going to make people who may not have known you very well go, you know what? It was like somebody was talking about your energy and your positive. That means that somebody else is going to see it. I wouldn't mind working with Jason on a project. I wouldn't mind getting to know Jason better for this or that. See, it's offering all of us a chance to visit, to get to know, to interact with people that we wouldn't have had that opportunity before. It's changing the dynamics of creativity.
Right. I mean, I love the way you said that. Let's talk about working outside of your area, because I saw that you're filming in Georgia, you're filming in different states. Is that through? Obviously, that's through the internet and networking. But you personally, how often are you working in other markets outside of Texas?
I very rarely work in Texas. I guess somebody said that I'm more of an East Coast actor than I am a Texas actor.
Really?
Texas, like a lot of regional markets, it's not just Texas, but there's the clicks, and Texas right now, because it isn't the most popular state for obvious reasons. But I don't mind traveling. I love to travel. I've traveled my whole life. I'm so excited about going out to Virginia to do She's Mine. And they're treating me fantastic out there. I love going to New York. I'm trying to get out to the West Coast more often. But I love traveling, and being here at the local doesn't bother me. I'm a member of a travel club, so it's like, let's go. But being on location is exciting. I meet new people. I get to meet different, be in different communities. I love being on location. That is just so much fun.
Right, me too. Yeah, I always feel like more of a big shot when I'm on location. I'm always like, oh, I'm here making a movie.
I'm somebody.
Right. I mean, I do it for the perks. I'm not in it for the money or the fame. I love being treated good. That's why I'm here. I mean, honestly. So, when you're going to these, I totally lost my train of thought there. So, Do you carry an agent in those other places, or how do you personally, Beau Thompson, get noticed in other states?
I have an agent here in Texas, a Cowlitz agency, and Heyman in Ohio. Uh, Actors Access, Backstage. I get up every morning. I haven't here lately because I'm just too busy. But I get up every morning. I have a crazy work ethic. I got a coach's work ethic. So I get up every morning. I get me a cup of coffee. And I go through Actors Access, Backstage, IMDb, and if the story interests me, if the character interests me, I send it out. I respect the regions for my agents. And I'm to the point now, honestly, I need a bi-coastal manager or a bi-coastal agent. I know that to grow. I'm not in any hurry to do it. I do need that to grow professionally, and it'll come when it comes. I'm not sitting there going, I did. It'll happen when it happens. But every single day I do that. That's part of my work routine. Because it's a numbers game. And if you sit around and wait, then it's passing you by. I love both my agencies. They're good people, and they do their job wonderfully. But I can't sit back. I'm not that individual. Right now I am booked till August, and in my mind I'm going, what am I going to do in August?
Right. So okay. So when you had mentioned Actors Access, and over in here in LA, it's like Actors Access is like, I mean, yeah, there's casting networks and there's Backstage, but the Actors Access is the one that they're like constantly beating us with, that we have to have it at some certain level. What when you're on your Actors Access, what is on your Actors Access? What do you personally stack? Do you have like I have 5 characters that look like this guy, or I have 5 photos that look like that character, or I have, are you packing a bunch of different, like walk us through your package, if you would?
Well, first of all, I'm really kind of fortunate as a character actor. I can look a bunch of different ways. It's like on my demo reel, I look 4 or 5 different ways. And all it takes for me is a haircut, or a little change, because if I let my hair grow long, I have a touch of gray. If I get it cut short, the gray kind of goes away. I literally play from 45 to 60, and I'm 62. I'm kind of fortunate. I'm a big guy, but I can drop 20 pounds and not. So I'm really lucky that I can look a lot of different ways. Somebody was asking, so look, you had a drama clip, and are those from several years ago? I said, no, everything's from 2 years. Because I have a weird accent, I've learned to do a variety of accents. I mean, if you need American neutral, I'll give you the American neutral. New Yorker, no problem. I can give you a New Yorker. And so I've learned to do, my favorite was Cajun. I had to do a Cajun mafia. So I tell people, you give me 2 weeks, I'll give you whatever accent you need. But that's me taking that work effort and going, if I'm going to be a character actor, then I need to develop those skills and be able to look how you want me to look. So it's really kind of all over the place. That's what it boils down to.
And do you go through, when you're submitting for a project, do you pick like, okay, give them this, go to photo, give them this photo, then give them this photo, or do you just go, here's my photos, love me or don't? How do you do it?
That's exactly what I've got. Anthony Grasso did a wonderful headshot of me, and it kind of looks like the dirty cop, the mob guy. But I send it my short demo reel, and either I'm going to be what they're looking for or I'm not. If you give me a chance to audition, I'm going to treat that audition as though I'm doing the part. What the only thing that drives me crazy about auditions is, Jason, I know for a fact you get this, is that no guidelines. What do you want? Do you want this guy angry, sad? What the heck do you want? Because if you tell me what you want, I'm going to give it to you.
Right, but how true though is the director doesn't know what they want? How true is that?
Oh yeah. And that's just it. I think honestly, a lot of times they don't know what they're looking for till they see it.
Right. So when you're okay, now I was recently told by somebody who I love and admire that looking like Ben Affleck and Tony Robbins was actually a handicap because there are more roles for someone who can be a character actor who can change their look. Not necessarily somebody like me, that I was actually like, going to be held back by my looks in the industry. So how, so how much of acting is love me or don't, right? Like what am I supposed to do about it,
Well, it's like a friend of mine who is unbelievably handsome. He's one of these guys that, he's gorgeous. I mean, that's the only way to describe him. And we were joking. This was pre-COVID, but he was giving me a hard time. And I said, how many people were at your audition? He said, there's probably 200 of us. I said, yeah, there was 8 of us.
Whoa!
Because there's a lot of good-looking people in the entertainment industry. But there's not a lot of this.
There's not a lot of good-looking, larger people.
I fat guy that looks mean. I know what I look like, and that's the roles I normally get. The racist, abusive, alcoholic. But that's fine because you can't have a good guy if you don't have a bad guy.
I mean, and they tell me that because I also get that guy, the racist, the alcoholic, the mafia hitman. I get all those I'm so tired of being the bad guy. And they go, no, man, the bad guy's way more interesting. You could do so much more with the character. And I'm like, wait, are you only getting good guy roles? Like, I guess there's people out there who only get good guy roles. Is that true?
Sure. Oh, yeah. But here's the thing. It's like Jesse's Gift that I just finished in Atlanta. I was actually a good guy in it. And it was fun because it's a change. Now I'm going to Virginia to be a bad guy. But it makes you appreciate, being the good guy makes you appreciate the bad guy. Right. It really does, because being the good guy, yeah, you get to play, gee, I saved the day, but the bad guy, you realize, drives the story.
Right. He's the antagonist for sure. Right.
Right. And so the motivation becomes a lot different.
Right. The problem I have with playing the bad guy is he never is in the second season. He's usually murdered at the end of the first season. So I
love to teach the nemesis. See, that's my goal, to become the nemesis that keeps coming back.
Right. The reoccurring bad guy. That's who I want to be. Yeah. I always want to be the bad guy who may or may not be dead. Right. Yeah. So let's talk about Jesse's skills. I wanted to bring that up. I know that seems to be like one you're really you were really excited about this movie. Tell us about that.
Oh, Jesse's Gift, which it's supposed to be finishing up this winter. It's one of those things that just fell in my lap. The actor was originally supposed to play my part. For whatever reason, you never know, had to drop out. And so a week before shooting, they asked me to audition. And we just hit it off, And of course, I missed all the rehearsals. But what it's about is that I'm playing this kind of a burned out musician, and my best friend's son, who is a really good musician, has hit bottom, and he makes me promise to help bring him back up. So it's one of those feel-good movies, and got down there, and it was just one of those things that instant chemistry between cast and crew. There was there was no separation. It wasn't talent over here, crew over here.
Right.
You know, it was just everybody. Everybody was kind of sick, not with COVID, but just, you know, some sort of crud that was running around. So we were each, you know, trying to make everybody feel better. And I had acute pharyngitis, which I'd never heard of, but fit the character, you know, lose the boys, till the found out. But the story meant so much to the people making it. It became infectious, you know, and it was filmed so well. Charlie Holbrook was the cinematographer, who's been doing it like for 45 years, you know, and it just felt right making it. You know, it was just one of those films. And to think that I just kind of, I get lucky in those sort of things because I'm not a what if person. You know, you got to try, you got to go for it. I don't want to be 90 years old and go what if on anything in my life. And it was one of those things that I just kind of went, okay, let's do this. And so I found out they were going to start shooting in a week. I said, sweetheart, I'm going to, you know, Atlanta. And it was one of the best films. And what I saw of it, it looks great. The trailer looks great. You know, I have a couple of scenes in it. I don't watch myself, but everybody's telling me that you know, some good stuff coming out of it.
You mentioned you don't watch yourself. I don't like to watch myself. Right? I hate. Do you watch your auditions? Did you watch them back?
No, I have a partner in crime that watches my stuff for me. And,
right.
And
yeah, mine is too. Yeah.
I have an acting coach at React Studio, Michelle Condry. And I have frustrated her for years because I can't. I mean, I get nauseous. I just cannot watch myself. But Michelle Condry has, she pulls no punches with me. You know, whether it's in class or if it's an audition, or Becca Spencer, my writing partner, and my wife, God help me, my wife, she's brutally honest. But I got those people around me, and if it's crap, I'm told immediately. They go, "You're not sending that to anybody because that's embarrassing."
I usually get, did you already submit that? That's the one I get. And I go, yeah. And they go, okay, next time, dude, don't hold your face like that. And I'm like, oh, yeah. You know, something I don't even know I'm doing, right? And then, but my wife will see it, you know, Jay, you're doing that thing with your mouth, you know, where, you know, there's nothing I can do. Tell us, one of my favorite photos of you, and I know it's one of your favorite photos, is that one where you're a cowboy. Yeah. And what an amazing picture. That's actually, I think, how you came on my radar was I saw your picture as a cowboy because, like, I'm dying to be in a Western. Tell us about Fox and the Bounty.
Well, and that's one of those that's kind of turned into a sad story. I was cast. It was all set up, and the financing got pulled out at the last minute.
Oh, wow. So you never filmed it?
Well, they got it set up partially, was set up. They started partially filming, and it's one of those things that once it got set up, everything was going in motion, and all of a sudden it fell apart.
So where did that photo come from then? Is that just a character photo, or is
Oh,
that?
no, that was a headshot that was taken. Like I said, one of the things about I try to do with all my headshots is to show this is how many different ways that I can look.
Right.
And that was just one. On social media, I'm terrible at social media. I have a young lady. She takes care of my social media.
Okay, you have someone else do it for you. Okay, right.
Oh, heck yeah, because well, I'm working, and I had to do it because I have a project. I can't say too much about it, but one of the parts about it, because it's becoming part of our jobs, unfortunately, is social media, and that's one of the things we're keeping an eye on. And so I had to get somebody to fix it because I'm terrible at social media.
Are you doing?
I had not even done it. I hadn't even done Instagram since like 2017 or something when I went to Johannesburg, South Africa to do a play, and I hadn't even touched it since then.
I remember when I first came on the scene, I was a model, and someone was like, "Do you have Instagram?" And I was like, "No. Why would I want that?" And they're like, "You can't be a model without Instagram, dude." And then I was like, "Oh, you have to have that?" Like, I didn't even know. But now, so now the kids are beating me to death with, "You have to have a TikTok. You have to have a TikTok." Like, I don't want a TikTok. Are you doing TikToks?
I started doing it because from a history standpoint, trying to explain things, but I just couldn't keep up. So I haven't messed with it.
So you have sort of unattended platforms out there, is what you're saying.
Yes, yes. So I got this young lady to help me with it. She got my Facebook up to like somewhere close to 5,000. She's amazing, but not me. I look at all that social media and go, okay, I'm a dinosaur.
Right. You know, and how much have we as actors had to, I mean, you're already a writer, you already understand a lot of the stuff like that, but how much have we had to learn to be cinematographers and lighting experts and, you know, at-home Tarantinos to, which I coined that phrase right now, at-home Tarantinos, that's mine. AHTs, you know, how long have we had to become AHTs to you know, that's mine now. Coffee Breaks Thursday, Jason's Live is AHTs. We've had to become at-home Tarantinos to be, you know, how much have you had to do that? Do you have a place where you film?
Yeah, I have a well, here, I'll give you a quick look around here. So I have a little studio that I've kind of built up, but no,
you just sort of threw paint on the wall? Is that what I'm seeing? It looks like you've sort of just...
Yeah, well, I'm in the middle of painting it. I repainted it. So I'm in the process of repainting it. But yeah, I have a camera painting. I got to put up soundproofing and all that good stuff.
You have soundproofing in your house for that?
Yeah, I'm putting it up, yeah.
You intend to... So you're actually like building basically an at-home studio?
Yeah.
How many actors buy that colored paint, do you think?
Oh, a ton of them, because it matches so many different things.
I thought about doing it myself. I'm going to paint the wall blue. I'm tired of hanging a shade, you know. But now I just do it on this wall, and I go, whatever. Love me or don't.
The reason I like this shade is because whatever shirt I wear stands out better.
Right.
And the psychology, because that shade of blue is more inviting than the plain backgrounds. That comes back from being a teacher, you know, that I always wanted my rooms painted in the lighter shades because it's more calming.
And so did you like research colors? Because I've thought about the different tones of blues or possibly going a darker gray, or, you know, did you research colors, or how did you come up with that color?
Because when I was teaching, because I taught some pretty rough schools, and that's where that came in. Now, colors, I don't understand. It's like this. I'm directing that film. That's the first time I ever direct. And my cinematographer, Carissa Leach, she was coming, "Oh, what's your color palette?" And I went, "My what?"
Right. Right. You know, some people are really into the color of the film. I know, you know, that makes a lot of difference. Let's talk about, you said you were a skeptic. I want to ask you a few fun questions. So just before we're almost out of time, but just for this fun sake, you're a skeptic. Does that mean you don't believe in ghosts?
Here's the thing. I got friends that are paranormal investigators. I'd be the first one dead because if I hear a noise, I go check it out.
Okay. What about
it's not that I don't believe in these things. I just not seen anything to convince me. It's like with aliens. Mathematically, I understand there's life on other planets. My question is, why would they come here? You know, you know. But it's like with ghosts and stuff. I've seen a lot of crazy things. I just not seen anything to convince me. You know, so if somebody says they saw a ghost, I have no reason to doubt them. But I haven't seen it.
what about the chupacabra?
Nah, I just, you know, it's like I'd have to see it. That's why I'd be the first one dead in a horror movie because I'd have to go look.
No Bigfoot. I mean, you live in Texas, so you must have some creatures, right?
Look, it's like, we got creatures, but most of them are the human variety that are just creepy.
That's it, right? That's it. Nothing too exciting going on. Tell us about what is exciting. What are you excited about that what do you got coming up you're stoked about? I mean, we know we got Jesse's Skills coming out. What are you excited about you got coming up?
A film that we shot in Colorado called All the Beautiful Things. It's in post. I play a father whose daughter is at the age going off to college, but I don't want her to leave because she witnessed the mother committing suicide 3 years prior. I'm real nervous about my directing debut. That's got me really, really nervous.
You better get your color palette in order.
yeah, really. I got something going on that may have me going to London, but I can't really talk about it. So
that could be really cool, right?
Really cool. And yeah, right now, life's good.
Life is good, right? You're just busy a lot, is what you're saying. You got a lot coming up.
Yeah, but it's like this. I love traveling. I love what I'm doing, bringing stories to life. Man, that's what it's about. And if I can help somebody, man, that's just icing on the cake.
Nice. Tell the people where they can find you. They're watching our show. They want to look you up. Like I think you said, like if they want an older dude in their movie, where can they give you a call, or where can they find you?
I'm easy to find on Facebook, but I actually have a website that is BeauThompson.com, BEAU Thompson.com. You can reach me there, see my demos. My favorite demo is the long demo, but Facebook, and you can actually contact me through my website.
There you go. What final words advice do you have for somebody who might be out there watching, you know, as an AP history teacher somewhere that wants to get into acting? What's your advice for them?
Do what you do because you love it, not because of what other people think. You know, if you had a perfect ideal, somebody would hate it because it's a perfect ideal.
I heard once that you could be the most delicious ripe peach and there's still going to be somebody who hates peaches.
Absolutely.
Beau Thompson, it has been a true pleasure, a true honor to get to talk to you. I look forward to all of your wonderful work, your character future. I want to thank you for being on the show. I want to thank Warren Madden, producer Warren Madden, for having you as our guest today. Folks, you heard it here. Get out there, do it because you love it, not because you want to be famous, because otherwise no one would tolerate this job.
David, thank you so much.
Thanks again. It was my pleasure. Folks, we'll see you next week. Coffee Breaks Thursdays with Jason Zalakis.